Right, good evening. Just started a new character. Been playing it a little bit this weekend. Done another Templar stamina one this time. Right, need to set everything up. I just created it. Let's see if I can remember what I do need to set up. Interrupt queue. Hi Thorquan, and Sin Gaming and EvoWow. Hello. Yes, I will actually have time to do a little bit of streaming this holiday, although I've got a ridiculous number of other things to do as well. But at least it will be mostly doing things I want to do. Is there anything else I need to do? I always forget. What do I do for UI on and off? Hi Dark Solix. Do I use B for that? I think I might use B for that. Settings, gameplay, auto loot on. Gonna have that always on. Percentage for resources, we'll see how that goes. For now. Right, stamina. Oh, you're playing it as well. Struggle knowing what to do and not knowing how to make a mistake. I mean, what I would say, there are some resources, like, I mean, I'm looking at some now in terms of how I would go with the build and everything. But they're not as comprehensive in say, something like World of Warcraft. You don't have as many people doing them, or to the same level of detail. I mean, one thing, for example, I'm not sure of, so if I'm reading advice... Oh, actually, speaking of advice... I should also set my champion points. Yeah, so if I know, for example, in World of Warcraft, when I've done guides, it'll be like, okay, you know, this set of talents in this situation would be the best. That will allow you to do the most damage. However, this talent requires you to use it perfectly or near perfectly. So actually, if you're not going to do that until you've got more practice, you might be better off with this talent instead. Now, I don't know if the same sort of thing applies here. So we'll just have to see. Right, so what we're doing. Crap. Right, need to go in here. Want tenacity and healthy, apparently. Okay. Is there anything else that's useful? Tenacity, healthy. Oh, Mooncalf as well. Oh yeah, of course. Put everything else in there. I'm going to take some out of here first. Just even those up a little bit. Alright, that'll do. What's next? Mage, I want ritual. And I want mighty and precise strikes. Mighty, what does precise strikes do? Oh, I'm going to go mostly for this one, I think. And then warrior lady. Elemental Defender and Hardy. Alright then. Put rest in there. What have I ended up out of that? When I have a shield or frost staff equipped, I'm not planning on taking either of those, never mind. Heal direct critical damage. Alright, that's fine. Now, I'm not going to do this. It always plonks you in the latest expansion, which is about to change very soon. But I'm going to do the story in order. Now, that means going to Davon's Watch first, so I can go and be murdered. Oh dear, come on. There we go. There we are.
Greetings. If my benefactor wished to discuss details, the Sadrina. What do you want? We raise fire.
That's it. Oh dear. Do I have to get to a certain level to be able to buy those traits?
We need an edge in this fight.
Right, she won't stop bothering me until I take her quest, but I'm not going to do that anytime soon. Need to get stabbed.
Hello there. Are you all right? The name's Lyris. I hope you've still got some fight left in you. You're going to need it. Dead. Must have been the runt of the litter. Keep your weapon ready and stay sharp. This place is full of surprises. Keep moving. There are more Daedra on the way.
Don't stop now. Keep moving. More guards are on the way.
Let's get out of here, my friend. The Prophet.
Greetings, Vestige. Like you, I am a prisoner in this place. You must rescue me, and I, in turn, must rescue you.
Hold a moment. Come here. We need to talk. The Prophet. He's a prisoner here too. It was break him out, of course. These tunnels will eventually take us to the town. Magical construct. I've no idea. I'm sure you do. We should keep moving. Well played, friend. Dark Beer, you are good in a fight.
The god of brutality knows of your escape. Hurry.
Wonder if I'll actually get one of these to level cap again. Every time I create an alt, it never gets there.
The god of schemes can see every part of Cold Harbor. We need to distract him.
Made a little night blade last week as well.
Try to be inconspicuous. We just got free of this place. The last thing we need is to get recaptured. I'll keep watch. Quickly! While he's blinded, we must get to the Prophet's cell. What was your name again? Target practice?
Oh god. Need to get better at dodging, I think. You deleted all your...
Fool! You will never...
I mean, I keep deleting them because I get them up so high and then go, no, I don't like that, and then delete it.
We'll never get in this way.
I think sometimes I do it before I've remembered to nick all their gold and stuff as well.
Damn it! Destroy. Cadwell is the old. Cadwell sees things as
It only lets you delete so many at a time, doesn't it?
One fine day.
Possibly as a guard against being drunk and deleting all your characters.
What's this? Sir, can... Oh dear. Well, that is rather cautiously, I expect. Follow the river. You'll find the best of luck. Do check in.
Why would you delete someone you've got 3,000 hours on?
Cadwell seems to think this undercroft is a delightful place. Probably means
What
it's a death trap.
would possess you?
Be careful.
Even drunk. I mean, I knew someone right back in Vanilla WoW in our guild who of a weekend would go out and get drunk, and he would come back and pick a fight with someone and then leave the guild, and then the next day he'd be whispering me on like Sunday morning
The sooner you
asking
get
if he
the
can
door
get back
open, the
into the
sooner we can
guild.
get out of here.
I'm not doing very well with this, am I? Oh, got some belts. Which one do I fancy? Light. Both light. Oh. Should really put some of this gear on. I'll switch to my bow as well. But I do want two-hand it, so as soon as I've got a skill point, I'll put that on the bow.
The Prophet's cage should be just ahead. Quickly now, we haven't much time. All right. Good news is we made it here in one piece, and the Prophet looks unharmed. Now the bad news. It's going to be up to you to keep him safe and get him back to Tamriel. I'm not... There's a trick, believe me. Once it's done...
Ah, brigands. This is all very, very different when it first came out.
I remember this feeling. Thank the divines you are safe. There is... I wish that were possible. But that is the name I have given you. You are but a trace of your former self. That is what I've come to be. Up the stairs, quickly. We must get to the anchor mooring.
The mortal thinks it can defy me. Futile. Soon your world will be in my chains.
Come, I will protect you. The Dark Anchor's portal is high above us. I will... A shard of Ethereum... Shard of Aetherius, fall upon us now and anoint us with your blessing. There, quickly. Collect the Sky Shard. Great Akatosh, Dragon God of Time, I require your strength. Let the way be opened. Let these wandering souls return home. Let the will of Molag Bal be denied. Hurry! We must go now! I feared. We arrived in different locations. Days, weeks. I'm afraid you will have to decide that for yourself. I cannot foresee that. Be wary. You must find your own.
Hi, Dan. No, I've pretty much done with it. I think it's safe to say. I mean, I'm still subscribed to it, and at some point, maybe 8.2, I'll do something on it. But I can't even see if it gets interesting that I'll spend a lot of time on it.
You're the one you've seen combat, and we sighted a ship. You'll find the people. It's an abandoned mine. Thank you, friend.
Alright, must remember to read bookshelves. And put that on. Then we need to sort out our shabby look. Yeah, someone was telling me they're thinking of redoing it, the champion point system. But I like the idea that you have this set level and then medium. And then after that, you have like an account-wide leveling scheme. Always sounds much better to me.
No idea what she's doing. Did I ever risk your lives like this?
Do I want solar flare? I'll say no for now. Right, crafting hall. I mean, for me, I'm not going to say, oh, it's because BFA is so awful. I mean, the bottom line is, were I still raiding, I'd still be playing it. That being said, the last 2 guilds I've been in have gone tits up in the last week or so. So maybe the constant, you know, guild collapses would have sent me away as well. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I would have stopped by now anyway. But it is ultimately down to the fact that I had to stop raiding because of time. Right. Up to now. Oh. No. Don't want that, do I? No, something with a shirt at least. Tell you what, let's see what I can make of this. Oops. That looks alright. I can go with that. Now, suitable mount. Oh, what about this one? Yeah, that's all right. Right. Hello. Someone attacking innocents? Who's chucking shit at me? Like someone's dumped a load of blueberries on me.
Deathclaw. I've been tracking the beast. Now there's some. Follow them. I've been hunting beasts.
Actually, while we're here, I wonder if there's a bow that might be more suitable. What looks like a fancy bow? Oh no, that's too fancy. Or is it too fancy? Maybe it's not too fancy. How do I select it? No, that's not worked. How do I actually assign it? Oh. Got to pay gold. Oh no, sod that. Do that later. Anything to loot in here? No. Now, the last character I made, I think it was yesterday, and I went off to do Darger's quest, and he didn't give me the quest until I went off and did all the things and came back. Let's see if he's going to behave himself this time. Because I do like to go counterclockwise in this island. I must have done this island as well, I don't know how many times, because when the game was in beta, and I wasn't in the full beta, but I was in like when they used to invite people on for weekends and stuff. I used to go that, and although I did the others, I always came back to this one. I loved this one. So now I just have this little circuit I do. Oh, pewter. I'm going to always go out my way for this because I want to... Obviously they only just introduced Jewelcrafting with the last expansion. And it is not that straightforward to get the stuff for it. Oh, there you are. And yet again, he's not giving me the quest, is he? There's a little bug in this. Oh, have to come back. Oh, or is it just because I picked up... I said I would go to Sane first, maybe. Still, he shouldn't be popping out if he's not ready to give me a quest. Right, there's also Mola over here somewhere. There we are.
I can... No, follow me.
Oops.
My friends and I were out. I don't know how spells work. I tried.
Right, where am I going? Ooh, dragon sword.
Watch yourself. That's refreshing. That cursed ship. How are you? It's grab some gear from our friend here.
Yeah, I think I just picked up the wrong first quest, but still. Right.
What a little extortion among friends.
Visit the chef. Oh yeah, that's a good point when I go to Davon's Watch. But I've got that on the other character, the one that I'm actually playing at the moment. Yes, I should have done that while I was there, shouldn't I? I'm bound to go past. I'll just do it when I naturally go past the summon stone again. Oh, someone dead over there. Is that a dark elf with a mohawk? Gordon Bennett.
Get lost. Quick, come inside.
Hi, Oggy. Yes, yes, I should certainly go and get it. I'm not going to bother with scrolls at low level though. Oh Christ. Don't shoot me.
Wasting time is an important part of life.
Someone else who's dead. The hell? Oh, are people just going AFK here or something? Stamina, sorcerer and a warden. Well, the warden gets a bear. But I have to confess, I haven't really done anything in terms of... Why are they trying to roll across them? Just jump across them. I haven't really done anything like really weird. I'm too traditional, I think. When I do a sorcerer, I do it as a caster. I mean, this I'm going to be doing as a stamina Templar, which is as different. I have on my original character, which I still have. At one point had him as stamina, but I didn't stick to it for very long. So I think what I need is a Magicka Templar, which I have, and then a separate stamina one. Yeah, I mean, I will, you know, if I can just get something else up to level cap, so I've got 2 characters at level cap, then I can maybe, if I'm going to start playing it more. But I always say that, don't I? I'm going to play this bit more, and then another game I play, oh no, I'll play Star Wars now, or Baldur's Gate again, or whatever. And then there's all the other things I spend my time on as well. So we will see. But if I do, then... I don't think I want that. Oh, right. Now we do want to make this a stamina ability, don't we? Converts to a stamina ability. Biting jabs, that's definitely what I want, isn't it? Yes, of course it is. I'm going to do a stamina guy. Racial. Just extra health, never mind. Get it anyway. Right. Oh, yep, someone's about to die there. Let's heal them. Where am I going? Oh, yeah. Oh, still in combat. Someone's chasing me. I'm quite happy with it. Well, I say with this. I need to remove my disguise, don't I? Unequip. Yeah, I think this is alright. I might refine it later.
This. I save my. You should be. We're used to it.
I also created, but I may go with that one more slowly, a Dark Elf Dragon Knight with the intention of making it a vampire. But I was all over the place when I first created my character because I created it as an Altmer Templar, which is what it's gone back to actually. But I was finding myself, I started off like using restoration stuff like that, which was fine for dungeons. I quite liked healing, sort of. But then when I stopped doing dungeons, because it was too difficult to get groups, and groups weren't terribly good, and it was more difficult then, and they were giving up easily. And I gravitated more towards like physical weapons, bow, and either dual wield or two-hander. And then realised my Altmer skills weren't all that brilliant for it. And then I race changed it. And then I went, no, maybe actually destruction staff would be good. And then I race changed it again. Been subbed to ESA, then left, now subbed Final Fantasy. Oh, you don't know. Well, I mean, 8.2 should be a lot better. But it's the same with me. I mean, I'm not blaming the state of BFA for my not playing. I'm just not playing it. As a casual, it just, you know, I mean, the fact that I even carried on playing it, I suppose, is testament to the fact that I think the game, from a casual point of view, is better than it used to be. Because it was always the case before that if I stopped raiding, like in Wrath of the Lich King, for example, when I decided to stop raiding, I stopped the game. I mean, I came back. So the fact that I even gave it a go just means... And it would have been alright. I mean, ultimately what it was, I was in a casual group that was doing some Mythic Plus dungeons. If that had carried on, I'd have carried on. But when it's like purely casual, it's like, no point. Yeah, I don't see WoW getting better for me. Like, as I say, I don't disparage people who still enjoy it. But I think I'm done with it. Like, I was thinking, you know, because people keep asking, oh, well, if you suddenly had more time. Work is not going to give me any more time. Like, for the foreseeable future now, that's as it is. But even if I did, like if I won the lottery or something, I would... I don't, and I had the time to go back to raiding. I don't think I would now. Now that I'm away from it, I don't actually miss it as much as I thought I would. I enjoy doing other things. And the other things I do, I can do on a much more casual basis. You know, the only hobby I have now that I do any sort of commitment to, as I say, is the other channel I did. Oh no, I wanted that. That's an innovation from WoW I would like to see, though. When someone taps a node, that you can still do it as well for a short time after. I seem happier now that WoW's not such... I don't think I ever considered WoW an obligation. I mean, when you're raiding, there's always an element of it, but it's the raiding I enjoyed. Now, you know, you get frustrated with it, of course, if like there's people in your raid team that don't always seem to be pulling the weight. But that's the same as in any team game. That's not a reason not to do team games.
Keep walking. There couldn't possibly be traps.
I used to do the same when I was captain of the youth judo team in my hometown. You know, if someone got beaten, what do you let them throw you for, you idiot?
You'll make a lovely squirrel.
It's just how it is.
Inquisitive. How rude! Digging through my things. What manners?
But yeah, the only obligation, and it's an obligation I put on myself, is daily content for political channel, but that's frankly a piece of piss. Way easier than doing like gaming related content. Because there's much more source material.
Have you any idea? That's no fun.
Your main tank. Oh, you've got a Dragon Knight tank. Yeah, well, I know when the game first came out, and a very early thing was Dragon Knight tank with light armor, because obviously it's got its doofer thing to give it more armor, and a destruction staff. As far as I know, that's still very much a thing. I suppose the advantage of the heavy armor, though, is not so much just the armor it gives you, but the health as well. But I've never really thought about tanking in this game. I mean, the thing is, the thing that's put me off healing it, I would have no objection to that.
You've accomplished the impossible.
Other than the fact you'd need to do it regularly with a group you know. But tanking has never, in any game, has never appealed to me. I have done tanking in other MMOs as well, and it just doesn't matter which one it is and how it's done, it never appeals. Do I write the scripts? I mostly do. More than I ever did on this channel. Sometimes it's more detailed notes and I fill in gaps. but most of the time I do write them, because the problem, what I found from doing 3 years of this channel, is that one, I'll forget things, and two, you end up making them 50% longer than they need to be. Now, whenever and people used to say this to me all the time, and I knew, you know, I knew that it's not a good thing to build a channel. People, like, you know, very knowledgeable people used to tell me, people will they'll watch 10 5-minute videos in a row, but they'll look at a 20-minute video and go, I'm not watching that, even though that would take less time. So you want shorter videos. But my attitude with this channel was always, well, I'm just doing it. It's just a reflection on my hobby, so I don't care what the perceived wisdom is. Whereas with the political channel, I would actually quite like to shit. See if I can make something out of it. So scripting, it allows me to try and keep it under certain, for most of them anyway, most of them. So I can keep most videos between 5 and 10 minutes, or if I go a minute over, I'm not that bothered. Oh yeah, obviously when you're just making things up, you'll and ah a bit as you try and collect your thought. I mean, the reason for that is because you don't want to, you're pausing because you don't just want to go off on a tangent all the time, and you're trying to think about, because even when I just used to write, because this channel I always used to just write little notes. The only ones I ever scripted were the guides where I'm not even on camera for. And
That cave is incredible.
Don't call me Raleigh.
Hang on a minute, sorry, what we're going to do uppercut to?
He was
Am I going to have uppercut? I'll leave uppercut for now. In that case, I'll unlock critical charge and put that on the bar.
Going there again,
But
and I'll leave you to rot.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I think I remember what I was saying. I've had a senior moment again. Yeah, because when I was planning videos and I'd write little notes, I would always think about what I would say at a particular point. And then the problem is when you don't write it down, then you're trying to remember what it was, how you were going to phrase it. So then I've just come to the conclusion, it's just easy to write it down. Now, obviously the downside is that it's then very clear you're reading off a script. But I still think that's better than umming and ahhing your way through something that's 50% longer than it needs to be. And there may be, I only say may, be I may try something, because it's doing quite well, but at the same time, it is also deflating a little bit. The Brexit effect is obviously had a big effect on its rapid, well, I'll say rapid growth, it's sort of rapid. But it has scaled back a bit in the last week. So we'll have to see. But if it, you know, doesn't scale back completely, oh no, I haven't done that skeever, then it might actually earn me enough by summer to be able to get some things I need. Because people have sort of suggested teleprompters, but the problem with a teleprompter is you need multiple things. I can't just stick a teleprompter there because a teleprompter doesn't actually do anything, it's just a beam splitter. And an expensive one at that. So I'd need a suitable tablet. I don't have a tablet. And I don't think my phone would be good enough for it. It'd be too small. I'd need a better quality camera, because the advantage of having a teleprompter set up is I'd be able to do it in another room and just stand up, and that'd be better. And but when you add up the cost without even going for super expensive stuff, when you add up the cost of all of these things and put it together, it sort of comes to about £2 grand. So, you know, when I consider getting LED lights for the green screen, and when I consider, because it'd need, you know, if I put it in another room, I haven't got a room at the moment where I could permanently set up the green screen that's not here. I would need, I've got a lapel mic technically, but it's got a cable on it. I want a wireless one. And again, I'm not going to go for like the super cheap options, because it's like, there's a danger if you just try and get the cheapest version of everything, but it's not actually that good, and you end up buying cheap, paying twice. Oh. Oh, there it is. I was looking for that. So yeah, if I could get a setup when I could also use a teleprompter, that would, I think, make it a lot better. There are other things I would like to do as well, but unfortunately that would involve me spending a lot longer on post-production than is realistic without being full-time. But I may try a few things out over summer. The problem is that if it works, it'd be quite disappointing because I'll not be able to keep it up when summer's over and I've got to go back to work. But I'll do it anyway and just see. Go on then, let's go and get that cake. This is just a starter island. But of course, with full scaling, you can start wherever you like. In fact, it usually encourages you to start in the latest content. You start off, you know, create a character and it'll plonk you straight in the latest content if you want. But I always prefer to go through the story anyway. Which is why I haven't actually completed any expansions content in its entirety yet. Because I keep doing it on these characters and not actually getting them to level cap. I only have one character at level cap, which I occasionally just keep going back on. What is this? Hang on. Oh no. What have I done? Actually, in more daylight, I'm not happy with the colour of this armour anymore. I'll sort it out later. Right, I want to go down to the docks, don't I? Quickest way to do that. I noticed a video where he seemed to be quite happy with it. Hang on a minute. I need to actually get the thing, don't I? Go away. Events. What? Is this because I've already done it? it is.
It's like this whenever I arrive. You must have smelled a touch of this.
This would be awful though if you didn't have the, if you were a genuinely new player and didn't have the ingredients, because there's virtually no way to farm ingredients in this game. You just have to loot everything, and over time you build up. I found it virtually impossible to target most ingredients. Just have to buy them. Right then. Where is it? In collections or something. There it is. No. Lasts for 2 hours. Okay. Actually, is it going to let me buy a thing yet?
We raise fine for.
Yes. There's a little shame that your mount things are not account wide. But never mind.
You there.
Can't have everything.
How would you like to do something worthwhile?
Worthwhile, usually very boring. Right then, let's go and see if Darge is going to behave himself. Better move on. Oh, Peter alerts. Go, 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 go. There he is, and he's now gotten a quest. About
Something has to be, if sure as really. The barrow has been here for as long as anyone can remember. Legend.
Yes, it's every time I come back to it, there's certain things that take getting used to. I mean, some of it's quite nice in the end once you get used to it, but I still say that it's there are certain aspects of the UI they could have made better for PC. You know, I mean, the annoying thing is they kept trying to come up with the nonsense that this was made for PC, and they went, "Oh, do you know what? We could also do this as a console version," which is an absolute load of rubbish. It's clearly designed for console. the fact that they released the PC version in a very unfinished state and then cancelled the planned console release. Oh, he doesn't want the pewter, I love it. Until it was ready, it was testament to the fact that they, well, it's obvious that that was going to be the biggest market. Alright, am I going the right way? But, you know, I see no reason why they couldn't have just changed the UI a little bit to make it easier. I remember when I first joined a group for a dungeon, obviously when it first came out, it took me ages to work out how to leave it at the end. I said goodbye to them all, and then I spent about 5 minutes trying to work out how to leave the bloody group. Must have thought I was a right idiot. Oh, the achievement. Well, I don't really care about achievements. But at least the levels are account bound. That's a huge improvement on other things. Hats, might as well put it on. What's that? What's wrong with the walking and running of animations? Oh, there's no boss over here, they've killed it. Never mind. Well, I'm not a fan of the art style of WoW. Much prefer it in this. Wasn't interruptible. Oh, an even better hat. I'll put on the even better hat. Which devs are you talking about, by the way? This one, the ones of this game. All right. Well, if they ever thought about the impact on the future, I would have thought a long time ago, they would have considered how you stop old expansions content from becoming irrelevant the second you bring out the new one. I mean, that's the problem with WoW. Ultimately, they rely upon the latest content to completely occupy people. When, you know, you've got years worth of old content, but they don't allow it to be all that suitable. Transmog went a little way to doing it, because at least people could do farming of old dungeons and stuff for Transmog. Stop chucking them away, you idiot. Yeah, see, the only I haven't got any add-ons to solve for this character. I mean, I have the Sky Shard one. That's bloody useful. I'm not into solving stupid puzzles, but at some point I will probably want to consider some other ones. But ones I've tried have never been very useful. I mean, I'm sure there are some useful because the big, you know, the thing about this one, it's all very nice having clean UI and all the rest of it, but like the game relies upon you, especially when you've got past level 15, you can weapon swap, that you have one bar where you buff and debuff with that weapon, and then you switch to your primary weapon and do other stuff. But then it gives you no natural way of telling when your buffs and debuffs, because they're not long duration either. So the game doesn't give you a way of tracking your own buffs and debuffs, which is just a piss take. Backlash I want. Oh no, Rush Ceremony. Let's have a look at the morphs on this. Oh no, we don't care about that. I want to do a solo one. I'll morph it into that. Can set them to show in the options. Can you? I've not seen it. Maybe I'll have to have a closer look then. And the lack of a damage meter isn't, because I'm not seeing a decent or indeed any damage meter add-on that's any good. I've seen some that try and purports to do it, but it doesn't, because you can't then use that to see if you're getting any better. If it's on console, I'm sure it'll be on this, because like I say, they've designed it for console and they just kept it exactly the same for this, because there are things they could have done that if you're using a mouse would have made it a lot easier in some options and stuff. Is that hiding behind there? Right, what have we got left to do? Just over. Oh my god, I forgot. Oh shit. I forgot to save the last guy in the cave. Ah, all the way back there again now. Right, I'll tell you what, while we're at it, I'll go and sort out. Of ESO, you mean if they leveled up through the normal zones, they would know all about the different races, they'd know about the major storyline in each expansion, they'd know about different attitudes of races to each other, they'd know about the cultural structure of them. Oh, that's the calculator one, I don't want that, go away. They wouldn't know about anything that's taken place, because this hasn't taken place after after the events. I mean, there's some of Elder Scrolls games that have taken place after this, so obviously it doesn't tell you about that. I don't like controllers. Oh right, you don't. Oh, sorry. I mean, you can set your keybinds. Let me just have a little look at something. Is there like an electric blue that I've unlocked? Oh no, I'll leave it as it is. This character, all it's learnt so far is that some bugger's murdered it and stolen his soul. I suppose it'll have learnt a little bit about Nordic culture as well, like Skyrim.
We must make sure everyone's accounted for.
Oh, I've got a vague idea. Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing now.
My husband gave... No, I'm not.
Do I have a favourite zone in this game? I think this one actually. I do actually quite like it. I don't really seem to get bored of this because I like this zone. I mean, that's the main reason I went with Ebonheart Pact, because I think you might be able to do this anyway, but certainly when the game came out, because I bought the limited edition set, I was able to play any race in any faction anyway, so I didn't need to pick a faction. Oh, let's go over there for the pewter. This is what I like as well. With an escort quest, that dog will stay there. Not like in the early days of WoW, where it will just piss off and get itself killed because I want to stop. So it doesn't actually follow me. Where the bloody hell's it gone? There it is. Yeah, I thought you might be able to. But yeah, so it had nothing to do with that. I just literally had... All I could do was really try out the starter areas. That was the end of the beta for me. I can't remember where you could get up to, actually. It might have just been this island and that's it, like the starter islands. But I did all three. And I just enjoyed this one much more.
Thank God. Just give me a second.
Like, way more. So... let's get volley. Get rid of that. So yeah, the Imperial that I've got now was a feature of the limited edition, and as I say, being able to play any race. So, but I chose Ebonheart Pact just because I like this zone. And at the time, of course, what you did is you went through your zones and then you did the other zones. You know, when you got to level cap, in that rubbish early version of, what do they call it, the veteran system or something. That was pants. That's what finished it off for me, and that's what made me stop playing it. I played through to level cap, went through all the bugs, some of those bugs that kept me stuck for like 2 days until they were fixed, all the way through there, and then into the veteran system, and I probably played like 2 zones and then thought, sod it. And then they improved it massively. Oh, let's just use that. So don't need that. Right. I've just remembered. I forgot all about that guy, didn't I? So we won't leave him behind. I'll go and sort it out. Get too distracted. I mean, that's what I do on a lot of games. I mean, I got one to level cap, but then when I try and make others, and then you get, you know, so far with them. And then when you return to them, because you haven't actually spent that long on them, you sort of think, well, I might as well just make another one. Apart from anything else, when I return to it, usually things have changed anyway. Like, and I've got this book, and this book was made for Morrowind. And when you look at the racial skills, and it's not actually the same as they are now. If I looked at those ones, I would never think of making this an Imperial character. But they've changed. Don't let it eat you, idiot. Oh, get over there.
My comrades have it. May your scales stink.
Alright, back we go. I think that's everything. Wait a minute. Let's not go that way. Oh, hi, Deja. Sylvanas is a shower. No, but I treat all such suggestions of a twist with deep suspicion, because their story writing has been absolutely rubbish. Just with the inconsistencies, not so much the general story. Oh, let's go to have a great sword again then. So the problem is, you know, they'll exultantly say when they do something that no one predicted, there you go, you didn't see that coming, did you? And you will go, no, because you've just completely retconned something, or you did something that made no sense.
We've done all this before.
Right, completely forgotten what I'm doing now. Like if you're gonna try and do a murder mystery type thing where you lay clues out but make it extremely difficult to find it, because you also, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put like a load of red herrings. I'll keep that on. But that's not what they do. What they do is they make characters behave in a way that makes zero sense, and then they retcon something that they haven't told you they've retconned. Oh, critical charge can be dropped. That's what I want, critical rush, don't I? Yeah, let's get that one. See you later. I have much painting to do and more models on the way. Yeah, wow. So, I mean, I want to find out what happens, but I only want the general gist of it. I'm not engaged at all by going through the story because, like I say, they keep doing things that don't make sense. You know, I mean, I wouldn't even put it past them just to be hyping something up, just to get people interested in it, and then it turns out to be nothing. Need to remember that, actually. Doesn't do them any good to run away from me, because I'll just charge them again. And of course they could change their mind on whatever they're thinking of saying, unless it's already done. Because they did that with the Sourfang thing, didn't they? Because there was an inconsistency between the extra material in the physical limited edition and what they actually presented in game. Which was poor, I thought. Once it was printed and done, that should have been it. Should have just left it like that. And carried on. Reflecting that in the game. What's good about it is that from a casual point of view, it's a very free game. You know, if you're going to play it very casually, you've got a massive amount of choice in where you go. So the exploration is there because you can go anywhere you like at any level. Like when you create a new character, it even tries to dump you in the latest expansion zones. But then creating your character as well, you know, you've got different classes to choose from, but that doesn't restrict you too much. Because you have the... oh, let me get somewhere safe again. Go to the next house. Because you spend your skill points along different lines. And only 3 of which are related to your class. So your weapon, you can pick whatever. I mean, there's 4 unlocked there, but there's actually 6 weapons. And destruction staff technically there's 3 different types. You've got other skill lines. There's loads of skill lines I haven't even opened up yet. So you can tank, heal, ranged DPS or melee DPS, or a combination of both, with whatever class you like. And there'll be a decent way of doing it as well. Now, obviously, if you just, you know, there will be such a thing, I suppose, of if you just go with whatever skills you think look shiniest, you might end up making a crap one. But you'll be able to play any archetype as anything. And then the best thing about the game is there's an awful lot of crafting materials in this game, but they don't clog up your banks if you've got a subscription. This is only for a subscription, because you have the crafting bag. And this is account-wide. All crafting reagents go in here. And it is endless. There is no limit to it. You don't have to put in the bank. You don't have to mail them across to your characters. All reagents, you don't have to, you know, they don't go in your normal bags. All crafting reagents go in here, where I can use them on whichever characters I please at the time. It is like the best thing ever. And then, of course, it's got far better transmog options. I would still say Lord of the Rings Online has the best transmog system, even though, you know, the graphics are not quite good enough to make full use of it. Where am I going? Wrong way. Oh, it's a fantasy game. I'm allowed to use magic. I did pick the bucket up technically. It's just that the bucket never ran out. I just want to have a look at something actually. I think you use that more in PvP actually. You run away from me. Oh yeah, there's player housing. I've got loads of houses. But I'm too lazy to actually go and make them up nice and stuff like that myself, so I always buy them ready furnished. But yeah, I mean, there's people just... That's what they do in this game. You know, and there's loads of ways to acquire... This is the benefit of this game. Because you can get patterns that will let you craft stuff for your home. There's places where you can go out and get stuff for your home. Huge amount of customization of them, and you can have more than one as well. People, I don't know. A lot of fuss made about the economy. As far as I'm concerned, you could just have one giant economy in like EU, one in, or English speaking EU, let's say. Same with US. Oh, hello. Don't need that just yet. I don't want light armor. I can't remember whether I want piercing javelin or not. I've got an idea I might. I've got an idea I might. I'm gonna put that on for now. Hi Erasmus. Hi Zalana, thank you. When Method buys out several servers with the mats, don't think Blizz cares too much about their economy. Well, yeah, I mean, that's it. The thing is, though, it's, you know, if they just did a huge, like, region-wide one, that would be an absolutely enormous economy that the likes of Method wouldn't be able to have that big an impact on. They can have a huge impact on a server's economy.
Bring them through.
Besides, you can buy gold anyway. So. Economies are more, you know, susceptible when they're smaller to things like that. A larger economy is not going to fluctuate as much. Where am I going? Oh, wrong way. Oh yeah, I forgot I ain't got puncture and strikes on anymore. I should remember that. Actually, I could work with this, I think. Oops.
This way. We're almost out. Should be just beyond this door.
That book. Which book? That's just the map. That's their skill. When I get my skills. Oh, do you mean when I click a bookshelf? So basically, if you right, let me get out of here. So in order to like advance things, so for example, let's try and find one. So here, for example, when I first equipped a double-handed sword, it gave me like rank 1 in two-handed weapons, and that gave me access to the first ability here. And then what you need to do is you need to fill up the experience bar either by, well, pretty much by having that ability on your bar. And then you know, when it's done it 4 times, it's called it uppercut 4, I then get to pick a morph for it, which means I get to add an extra effect to it if I intend to use it, which I don't just yet. And then experience that up. Now what you can do, because to access these abilities down here, like I want reverse slash, I also want momentum, I think, at some point. In fact, I probably want all of them at some point. I can see here reverse slash, I need two-handed rank 20. So it's 9 at the moment. So by using a two-hander or by having a two-handed ability slotted, which I do as well, I get experience for that. But if you lead bookshelves, every now and then one randomly gives you a skill in something. Like it gives you an extra level in one of your skills. So you always go around clicking on bookshelves. So when something, and also it works a bit like the books in World of Warcraft or that were in vanilla. It also tells you something about the lore of the game. But that's not why I'm clicking on them, because I'm not reading them. I'm clicking on bookshelves to try and get skill points. Well, Blizzard have said they plan on doing something about the auction house. They've just been a little bit quiet. I mean, they've put a couple of things in that have actually, to be fair, they had an issue at the start of BFA, and they put something in place to improve it as an interim, and that worked okay. That was all right. But yes, they have said that they've got longer term plans for it. We just don't know what they are yet.
Go to the get to the watchtower as soon as you can.
Oh, that's just going up a level.
I've lost my... Of course. Because they are.
Hello, Albie. Right, anyway, what was I going to do? I'm going to do something. Oh yeah, quick slot. Oh, is that the right one? Yes, it is. No, I haven't done a daily dungeon. I haven't done any dungeons in this for years. Not since it first came out. I probably will do at some point. Well, the main reason I haven't been is because I fear being useless, which I will be. But I gather that when you're leveling up, there's more of an LFG type system in the game now, where it should be relatively straightforward. In which case, I guess it'll be all right. But I'll probably wait till I'm level 15 or something. Do it like tomorrow. Because this is the fear that I'm in a game that's now been out for, well, 5 years. And yet, although I played it when it first came out, I haven't really played it much since. Certainly not for the group content. Don't know what I'm doing. Well, I'm not doing it today. I'll see if I can stream tomorrow evening and then maybe do one then. I should be able to, I think. It all sort of depends because I've got my car in for service and MOT tomorrow. So, and I've also got something arriving in the post. But assuming it's arrived and my car's all done, then I should be free to stream tomorrow evening if I've got all my videos done in the day, as well as the housework I have to do as well. Right, something's not right here. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's the same as in WoW though, isn't it? As soon as you create a system of anonymously arranging groups, people will just go through the motions really quickly. And the problem is when you're not. I only did a few dungeons, you know, when the game first came out, because what happened is, like, the first dungeon I did, if someone said the name of it, I would actually remember as well. Fungal Grotto or something. I was doing it with a group that knew what they were doing, and I cocked up a few times, but it was a very nice group, and it all went fine. Then the second dungeon I did, now I can't remember what that was called, but I remember we made a proper arse of it. None of us knew what we were doing, but we struggled through it, you know, and we eventually completed it. And that was a nice group, and that was alright as well. And then the third dungeon I tried, we never even got inside it because people kept joining the group. Because you had to get yourself there as well. There was no teleporting or anything like that. And
a moment, please. That's right.
And you know, so we didn't even get into the bloody dungeon. And then I kept trying it, and then we'd get into a dungeon, and then we'd die at a boss, and then people would leave. And you know, and I kept plugging away at it, and I never actually completed another bloody dungeon again. So I eventually just gave up. Because no one had... The dungeons were quite tough when you didn't know how to play the game. And no one had the resilience to stick it out. Where am I going? Oh, it's up there. Yeah, see, that's my fear. I'm going to go in and, well, at least it won't be as bad. I mean, Star Wars The Old Republic was way worse when I started doing that. Because in there, like dungeon type things, I can't remember what they're called now. And you have these little cut scenes where you have to wait for and respond. And by the time I would come out of it, they'd have buggered off. And I remember in one dungeon in particular, I didn't actually know where they'd gone. It took me some time to discover where they'd actually gone. Now, at least that shouldn't be the case here. But I am, put it this way, I'm not well practiced with my dodging and rolling. So... And because I won't know what the different things do... Yeah... And I daren't do it on my main character, because my main character is level cap. So I'd end up in veteran dungeons, wouldn't I guess? So... Oh, I don't care about reading the quest. It's just that in Star Wars The Old Republic, a thing would come up and you'd have to make a decision. If it was no decision required, I could easily just skip it through. I mean, I should have done that anyway. I think I eventually learned to do that. Because it was just better. Right, where have I come out here? Oh, high. High up. From how long does it take to start from max level? It'll depend, doesn't it, in this? Hello, Breckner. What's up? Pick up the 100% experience buff tool. I don't even know what you're talking about. You're going to have to explain that one. In terms of how long it starts, if you've got the experience buffs, because you can get like scrolls of experience and stuff like that as well. I suppose it could be quite quick, I don't know. I haven't leveled anyone up to level cap since my first character, and that's when the game had just come out, where it's very different now. Are you talking about the cake? Because if you're talking about the cake, I already have it and it's active.
I'm no blade master. Covenant ring.
Yeah, I already have that. It is all there.
The Covenant, I think so.
Oh, see for character. Oh, got that, got that. I am at the moment experience buffed. No. You know, if there are better settings for it, I'll have to examine those later on. I'm not going to sit here now and mess about. They run away again. Not very sensible. The level cap doesn't change now. The level cap is 50 as it always was, but then you have these champion levels. Where mine are on something. Doesn't tell me now. What does it tell me? Oh, I don't know. But they're account wide, so you get those on all your characters. I mean, it does the levelling as you should do it. The levelling is there to teach you about the game. You don't need to go beyond level 50 just because it's another expansion. And to go through a storyline, which it does. If you want to do that storyline. Oh, where am I going? They do occasionally, but they only do it when they need to do it. They don't do it for the sake of it. Like with the next expansion that's coming out in June, there's a new class. There's a Necromancer class. which I will probably have a crack at. Although I have to say, Necromancer as an archetype isn't something that's especially interesting to me. But I'll give it a crack. I'm not actually very keen on what its healing sounds like, because that sounds to me like it's... You know, when you have a situation... It all makes sense, role-playing wise. But you can do your healings better if there's, like, corpses about. And the problem is then you're sort of dependent upon something that's... Oh, crap, what have I just done there? I'm going to fall off this bridge in a minute. What's what we're doing? The thing that was massively overpowered when this game first came out were vampires. But, I mean, they may still be. I don't know. Although I would hope they've been scaled back from what they were then, because they were just ridiculous. And people were being really mean as well, because the way... I mean, now you can just buy it off the store. But the way you had to get your curse of vampirism back then was you had to be bitten by particular mobs that were not... They were quite rare in the particular places. But people with it, or you get someone with vampirism to bite you, and they would charge you a fee for it. And what these people would do in groups would be to go around killing all the mobs that can give it to you. So you had no choice but to pay these people to give you the bite if you wanted it.
Hold up, Cap. I know it's a hard choice, but you... I want to think I trust you.
Right, okay. Let's tidy up here, and then how are bags doing? Bags are okay.
So, excellent, yes.
Well, it depends on the stage of vampirism. It can do, but I think that's why people advise that you do it as a dark elf, because then you get some fire damage reduction. As I say, I created this weekend a dark elf with the intention of doing that, but you know, I'll probably just go do that one slowly, just for the sake of it. I mean, the other thing is, well, Fighters Guild abilities do more damage to you as well. So there are some downsides, but I think it's largely considered that the upsides outweigh them. And technically, if you're a stamina build, you should probably be a werewolf, even if you don't use it, just for the passive stamina regeneration. But I'm not going to do that on everything. I might do it on one character. Again, my Nightblade might become a werewolf. Right, I'm going... Oh no. What is this?
Callie, darling, you did go on.
I haven't seen much of either since I've been pottering about again. But I did, as I say, I used to see... I won't say loads of vampires, because, as I say, they cornered the market on it a bit. Oh, these are quite rare. I mean, they're not supposed to be, but I always seem to run out of them.
The Covenant flooded.
have we got here? Oh, yeah, we'll have some damage done increase. Oh, piercing javelin, right. Binding javelin. Oh, just as a stun. Okay. What is this? Increases critical damage by 5. Increases damage done to blocking targets. Why not? Actually, how many crowns is it? Let's just have a look. I can't remember where it's in. Not in DLC, is it? New. Quest starters? Wouldn't be in utility, would it? Can't think where it would be in. Skill lines. Oh, there we go. 1500. Yes, thank you.
Sergeant Zane. You must help Zane. Hurry to the docks. Zane won't last long by herself.
Oh, well, doesn't cost that much. And I think there comes a point with the Thieves Guild as well, isn't there, on the skill line, where you can actually get clemency once a day. Oh, for goodness sake. I'm glad when I can equip my bow as well as this, I can volley on these pains in the ass.
I'm all right. Go find Hild and Rana. They're on the other side of the docks.
But yeah, I'm not always very good at the sneaky ones. Sometimes, sometimes not. I mean, if I can see what I need to do, then I'm alright. But when I have to go around and I'm not quite sure where to go, which sometimes happens, then yeah, I end up upsetting people. Oh, you still have to pay, do you? Oh, but doesn't one of them teleport you to the Thieves Guild? You could just wait it out there. Because you're fine as long as you're not in a town. Oh, crap.
threatened. Good.
Set it ablaze!
There's really need for that. Bounty of 6,000. Right. Never quite got it up that high. I mean, you have to use the hidey holes, don't you? Ultimately. And stay in there while you have a little think about where you're going to go. You usually get little baskets to hide in someone's house, don't you? Oh, there's a chest down there. Right, now I've done that, not actually knowing how to get back out of here. Oh, is there some steps there? The mount upgrade. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's, I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. It would be nice if they were. I don't feel like complaining too much because there's an awful lot of... Oh, there's another chest. There's an awful lot of things that they do that is very out friendly. So I don't wish to complain about everything. But yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. But these steps did not lead to somewhere useful. So, oh my god, thank you, Falcon. It is not, it is, this is a Templar. It's just not in Azeroth. I'm afraid Azeroth's gone to hell at the moment for me. I do not now know how I'm going to get out of here. I mean, the thing I really like is that, I mean, what I would normally have done by now is have crafted some gear for myself and my other character. Oh, another chest. Oh my god, there's loads of chests down here. Probably because no one can be asked to come down and loot them. And this is better as well, the fact that you don't just loot a chest, that you actually have a little other mini game to it. I mean, oh, of the trainee. Oh, I may have to see. I'll wear it for now, actually. Yeah, because the crafting system's been really good up until like champion 160. Okay, I've like no idea where I'm going to have to actually pay to teleport myself out of here, I think. I'll just have a look around here, see if there's anywhere to get out. Well, you say, I mean, that's obviously where... Oh, there's a ramp, there's a ramp. That's where they've spawned. It's just that most people don't just jump blind into the water to get them without having any idea how they're going to get back out again. I don't care. It's alright. Oh, and a fourth one. Oh, advanced. Right. Need to be speedy. No. The thing is, right. Oh, epic. What is this? What is this? A large house item. Oh. Another set of training. But what was I saying? Yeah, for some reason, like, if it's simple, I'll take ages of it and I'll fail all the time on the chest. If it's intermediate, I'll fail a couple of times. When it's advanced, it's almost like my brain switches on and says, you haven't got time to mess about here, do it properly. Yeah, if I just, let's just have a little quick look on my other character, because he's got a lot of traits, but not all of them. And yeah, after the while, the time it takes is monstrous. But that's fine. I don't mind that mechanic. I think that's sensible. You know, just to encourage you, without being too punitive, to put some effort into crafting. So let's have a look. This is my main character. Oh, see, yeah, in terms of, I mean, I haven't looked into all that business because I was only playing solo anyway. Right, let's just have a look. Oh, what am I doing? I need to actually go to a bloody thing, don't I? So, oh yeah, let's just gather all my little minions offerings first. So let's have a look. Oh, so actually for this, so hold on, let's have a look. So for that, yeah, it's only Nernhound I don't have for that and that. And oh no, I haven't got impenetrable for gloves. Mind you, this is all light gear. Now, if I were to have a look at medium. See, I've got several missing here. Annoyingly, seeing as the character I want to make is stamina based. Yes. Well, this one's going to be, this is my Magicka one. I want a stamina one as well. Oh, loads missing off this. Jesus, these are terrible. There's like 3 missing off that. 3 missing off that. That is no good. Anyway, let's get back. I only just created this other Templar anyway. I might, you know, if I'm true to form, I'll play it for a while, and then if it doesn't get itself to level cap pretty quickly. See, that's the vampire I was going to do. Anyway. But I do like the way that the developers, I mean, I'm sure for like serious players there are things they can criticise about it, but I do like the way that they at least engage. And oh no, should I do another circuit of chess? Oh my god, I'm never going to get out of here. They've all spawned again. Right, fine. We're just going to do chests for a bit. Get down. Better load time, yeah. I mean, that's a... For me, that's a minor consideration, though. But yes, they could be better. Oh. Yeah. Alright, let's have a look. I mean, that's better than nothing. Hello. Was that other person after? I think he's gone and got that chest over there. And also, you can't actually go in the water. You know, you pretend swim in the water, but you can't actually duck down into it. So I've got to go all the way around this thing like an idiot. All right, yeah, he's gone and grabbed that chest over there. Oh well. Yep, he is definitely after chests. So we'll leave that alone for now. Alright, let's go shard. Well, puncturing strikes is very good, yes. I mean, I use that on both the Magicka and the Stamina one. The Stamina one, you can turn it into a Stamina ability, which is always good. And on my Magicka one, it can heal me. This is nice as well, getting little things when you've... In fact, I could probably just put that back on now. No. Don't need that just yet. Max stamina, thank you very much. Oh my god, will you stop? Let's have a look. You've given some thought to spats. Oh, I didn't abandon them. Well, I sort of did. Well, they just disappeared. Basically, there I was raiding on the Alliance, happy as Larry a few years ago. And then all of a sudden, all the rest of the Alliance were... They just said, shh, when he goes out, we'll all hide. And when I came back, all of a sudden there were no Alliance guilds left. So I had to go Horde. And then when I was going casual, although I would have gone back Alliance, it was like, well, the guild I sort of knew socially, which I originally had also gone Horde, so I just stayed as Horde. And now that guild sort of collapsed as well. As well as the last raiding guild I was in, I've noticed this week, has also collapsed. Jaina is breaking guilds again. Mind you, I say that. It's not really the bosses that break these guilds, is it? It's just that people don't have the most Mythic Raiders don't actually have the resilience to Mythic Raid. So when they wipe a load like hundreds of times on a boss, they can't be dealing with it.
I'll listen to Bishilis next time. I've got nothing to prove.
I'm an Imperial on this one, yes.
I have little to offer.
Got to vary it a bit. What's wrong with Imperials? No, gnomes, no, never. I mean, in the next patch we're going to be killing gnomes, aren't we? I think. I haven't actually tried it out. I assume if they're going to make a whole zone full of gnomes that we're going to be killing quite a lot of them. I mean, I haven't actually checked that out yet. I'm just making an assumption. It would seem strange to me if we weren't killing gnomes. Where am I going? And I got to kill far more gnomes as Alliance than I ever do as Horde. You get no chance to kill gnomes as Horde. Or I don't, because the only way to kill gnomes is PvP. And I don't like PvP. Well, you say mecha gnomes, right? But mecha gnomes are supposed to be the original gnomes like Blingtron and Jeeves, you know, useful ones we quite like. But if you look at the actual artwork for them, they're not mecha gnomes. They're, at best, bionic gnomes. How long have I been sub for? Yeah, I've been sub for a while. I'm not above every now and then as well, buying crowns. I have to confess, basically what happened was, I mean, I had quite a lot of crowns anyway. And then, at Christmas, we were doing all the Christmas things. And that snow globe house came up. And I thought, ooh, who wouldn't want to live in a snow globe? And it was a largely rhetorical question. So I bought it, but I didn't have quite enough for it. So I bought a load of crowns. And now I've still got a load of crowns left. I mean, I stay sub to these games even when I don't play them for a bit. So I'm still, so the subs I'm getting, I've still got 2 accounts subbed on WoW. The reason being that one of them has feet on it, but the other one has most of my other characters. Because reasons. Lord of the Rings Online, but I haven't played that for a bit, but I carry on staying sub to it, just in case, because I don't, you know, well, yeah, you know. Even if you add up the cost over a whole year, for the amount I'll spend in a year, I'm still happy for that. It's not a massive amount. And, oh, book. And I need to activate that add-on, actually. And this, and then Star Wars The Old Republic. So I've got like 5 active MMO accounts. That just cycle around on 3-month things. The snow globe house, right? All right then. Houses. Now, what's it called? Here we go. And it is an actual snow globe as well. It's not just in the shape of one. You are in a tiny snow globe on someone's desk. Now, the only problem with homes is that you can't mount up in them, which is super annoying. Look, we're in a tent. I'm in a little tent. Yeah. Now, as soon as I've got a painting, I might as well put it up somewhere as well. Where's a good place for a painting? Some paintings already on the wall. I need to go to a fancier house, I think, to put a painting up. Not so much this one. Can put out candles and stuff. But, I mean, the good thing about it, and this is what I wish Blizzard would learn. I mean, actually, you can actually get utility things for your house, but that's not the main. You don't have to. It's not the main reason people would get this stuff. They get it because people like to be able to kit it out, which I haven't. I just bought it like this. It was already decorated when I got it because I'm too lazy to go around and get in, you know, stuff for it. But you can buy it unfurnished and go out, as many people do, and go out and get all the furnishings yourself and set it up the way you like it. Like, if I... Where's the first one I ever got? It's not there. God, where is it? It's not that one. It's not that one. I've got one. It's not this one, is it? It's not there. Hold on. Hold on. This is it. Is it? Hold on. No, that doesn't sound right. Something's weird here. I had a house in Stonefalls. Where is my house in Stonefalls? Has it nicked my house? I'm not going mad. I definitely had a house, like an island home, just off a volcano. Is this better than WoW? For a casual player it is. I would not say... I mean, I can't speak from experience on the end game, but I would not say the end game was, even from people that will talk about that. This is really annoying. Or is it this one, maybe? Grand Topal Hideaway. Let's go and let's go there. See you later, Deja. So yeah, I would say from point of view of just knocking about casually, way better. Leveling is a much more pleasant affair. It's much better for alts. Crafting is more useful to you while you're leveling even. I don't like the auction house system though. You know, this idea of having to be in guilds for it. I don't like the fact that to play well you have to do all this animation cancelling nonsense. That is degenerate gameplay. So that's not good. So there are criticisms of it. Oh, here it is. I think. Yes, it is. I knew I had a house near a volcano. And this is what I put on the beach. This is my very little personal decoration. But for some reason, and this is why I shouldn't be allowed to decorate my home. For some reason, I decided that a Daedric throne, the best place for it was on a beach. So, yes, gnomes have derived from Titan creations. The Titan creations were fine. You know, mechanical gnomes I have no issue with. They're actually very pleasant and useful. Right, I know where this painting can go actually. My poshest house. I have a palace somewhere. Oh no. What? Why won't it take me there? Alright. And there's no going to be a tinker class. A tinker class, by definition, would be a utility class. And they're not interested in utility. Otherwise, they wouldn't have removed it from paladins. Hi, Falcon. But yes. Oh, sorry, I was just reading that. Tech priest. I mean, I don't know. See, I mean, I know a lot of people are thinking to themselves, you know, they introduce new characters on an alternating basis, don't they? So you had Wrath of the Lich King, Death Knights. Then you had Cataclysm, where it's just new race. Then you had Mists of Pandaria monks. Then you had Warlords of Draenor. Then you had Legion Demon Hunters, BFA, and then they're thinking, what is next? But right, Lord Thee. I mean, I am. The problem is I don't spend... I have actually put a few things in this one, I think. Oh, did I? There's one where I put stuff in. It may not be this one, actually. Oh, well, I've put him there. I've got a banker. And that's the merchant, I suppose. Right, but this is my grandest house, so I guess this could be a good place to put a big painting. So let's just have a look where we would put a big painting in here. We'll find some suitable wall. I think it described it as a large painting, didn't it? Large house item. So, well, I'll tell you what, let's have a little look, shall we? Oh, God. Does that work? Oh. What's it a painting of? Something in Skyrim. Maybe? Can't tell whether they're Nords or Orcs. Oh, it's very nice, this place. But yeah, I mean, I just get them every now and then. I just find one, I see one I like and I get it, but I don't really use them. And because, I mean, I suppose they're useful for teleporting around the world if you have them in enough locations. Right, anyway. I want to find a house that's near, oh, that's near a way shrine. But yeah, I wish you could mount. That's all I would say. When you're on the outside of it, I don't see why I can't mount. It's my palace. If I want to get on a mite around it, I don't see why I can't. I think placing objects is good because it gives you a lot of control over exactly where you want things placed. And I you know, there was someone I saw who started, he had an ESO channel, it was not a very big one, and he used, I can't remember his name now, he was Australian, and he used to sort of do tours around people's player houses, and you know, some people have come up with some very, very impressive stuff. And as I say, I don't understand why Blizzard don't get it into their heads. There are people who will play a game just to do that, just to, you know, give them a house and loads of ways to customize it that takes a load of effort and time, and people will do it. Your garden is what, your gardening game? Oh, in your house thing. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I mean, this is something where, because my first experience of player housing was Lord of the Rings Online, And that was actually quite nice, but it's very limiting. Whereas this one, it's like, you know, this is a modern player housing system. Really good. Now, where is... Oh, crap. It's not that close then, is it? So I've gained the skill Thieves Guild just by entering this town of brigands, have I? Didn't I steal a treasure trove? I might have done that on another character.
It's not that much to ask.
Do I know where I'm going round here? I haven't been round here for a long time. Banker Eye, yeah. I mean, I remember doing some quests around here. It took me ages to work my way around. Have I done the Hrothgar quest? Yes, I have. On my main character, I have, yeah. I quite liked that, actually. That zone storyline.
If you change your mind, I'll be here.
Right, anyway, let's... I've completely forgotten where I was even questing. Foyen Docks, Fort Zeren. I mean, I was heading towards Davon's Watch. But the Hrothgar one is pretty much the only one I have, apart from the you know, the Ebonheart Pact zones that come with the game. It's the only one I've really completed to any degree. I mean, I've done the main quest line in it. There's probably still a few quests I haven't. That you couldn't pick to support the king if we wanted. The king was an arsehole, though. All that help we gave him, and then he betrayed us. Little bastard. Deserved to die. Now, that's the point. Do I have to enter Davon's Watch to get the prophet to show up to me?
Excuse me, please. I have a message for you.
Oh,
If I
what do
may
you
be
want?
so, an old wizard had.
Oh. I don't think I should do that just yet, because I haven't even done the main quest line yet. Alright. What level am I now? 13. 2 levels away, and then I can have my bow equipped again. Do I have any cool costumes? I don't know. Costumes, I don't know. Polymorphs. Skeleton I've got. Can do be a skeleton. I don't really want to be a skeleton though. Bloodforged. Could be a lava man. But I'm not, I'm a knight.
Yes, soldier. Thank you. We're giving the Covenant a good fight. The Covenant
I won't have a lot of stuff collected, like I say, I'll keep doing it too casually.
Your choice. You'll find a manor.
Right. What I need to do as well... Right, I'll tell you what, let's just sell all the stuff that's just vendor trash first. The moment the names understood the weakness of their flesh, it disgusted them. Crave the strength and certainty of steel, they aspire to the purity of the blessed machine. See, I'd be completely fine with that. Of all the races that absolutely need to revert it is the gnomes. Unfortunately, I don't trust them to do it. Right. Yeah, they're not going to try and turn all of us into mecha gnomes, I hope. Just the actual gnomes. Maybe the Tauren. Maybe they could turn Tauren into mecha gnomes. As long as it's full mecha gnomes and not those hideous conglomerations that I saw when I looked at the... what do you call it? In the 8.2 artwork. I'm pretty sure I'll have that. I'll put it in anyway. Jewelry. Collarbones. Pewtery. It's strange. The main story is the most boring parts. It's mostly the same on all characters. Well, yeah. I mean, I've only done it properly through on one character though, so it's still alright for me. Adeptus Nomanicus, behave yourself. Even in death, I would say especially in death, they serve the Alliance. They do precious good for it alive. It's only them, as I say, the mechanical ones, no problem. Repairs our gear, gives us little presents, fights for our amusement. You know, that's what gnomes are supposed to do. Oh no. Let's not do that. Oh no. Bugger. Right, let's stop doing that. I might have done something stupid. I'm going to have to go on to the other character just to check if there's anything that I can research. Yes. But I mean, let's think. When would it be due out, do you think? I reckon 8.2 might come out round up to... after this Easter, I've got 2 weeks off, basically. And then it's 5 more weeks back at work. And then it's another 1 week off. Now, if 8.2 coincides with that, I may play 8.2 in that week off. And I may do a little bit of catch-up on WoW this Easter as well. Because although I've done quite a lot of the solo stuff on the PTR, I haven't actually done it on live. I haven't played anything really on live since Christmas. So my character hasn't even picked Sourfang or Sylvanas, for example. I've done it several times on the PTR, but not on live. At least they confirm we'll be able to fly in the new zones. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, well that's all right then. Right, let's have a look. Okay, nothing to learn there. Nothing to learn there. And I think I destroyed all my woodworking stuff, so I'm going to guess there's nothing here either. No. Right, well, at least I know I can safely destroy all the stuff. It's very difficult to find the pieces I want. I have sometimes done that and not really found what I want. I mean, I haven't like spammed it day in, day out or anything, but every now and then I have a little look. Right. Oh, that's a fancy horse. I'm not sure I like... Oh, that's the... Look, I thought I don't like the ridge on the back of that horse, and it's the Argonian's tail. Right, anyway. Can research. Well, let's not destroy it then. Alright, what have we got to research here? Training always takes priority. So this is actually quite good, the fact that it tells you what you can research and what's worth selling and what will give you extra things. Whereas you used to have to examine each one individually when the game first came out. I'm not sure quite why I'm doing research on this. I'm not likely to make this a blacksmith, a woodworker, or a leather worker because I've got those on my other character. But just in case I decide to switch some things around. Where am I headed? Over there. So I'm down here, I think. Classic Paladin guys new to us so far have been mediocre at best. I mean, I don't know to what extent people are really going to need them. So let's have a look on it. You're going to be asking me from memory now. For instance, paper progression. Some say a faster sword mace is best, as others say a better shield, etc. I mean, once you've got Seal of Command, you want a slow weapon. And you can get Seal of Command bloody early. You don't want a fast one. I mean, it depends how you're going to level it, like what talents you're going to take, I suppose, as well. If you're going to go red and take Seal of Command, slow. But then again, level. I mean, who cares about leveling? What should matter is what you're going to do at level cap. And I know the leveling is not a quick process in Classic, although it's a lot quicker than I took it. But will there be guide? I mean, I won't be doing one. I don't think there's need for one in Classic. I don't think the class. Like there were some little wriggles with a couple of the classes, but most of them were unintended and therefore removed as soon as someone drew attention to it. Like the Reckoning Bomb. But I mean, on a boss fight, it would literally. Yeah, I'm on the EU one. Yeah, it would literally have been Judge Crusader. Have Sanctity Aura on, have enough crit that you can proc Vengeance really quickly and keep it up there. You know, I can't remember how much I worked out. I worked out something like 20, you want a 20-something% crit. Between 20 and 25% crit. I don't think it was quite as much as 25 that was needed. So that you would stack it up really quickly and keep that going. And then it's just Seal of Command, and then it's just Judge and Reseal and Judge and and that's all it was. You didn't waste mana on Consecration. That would be laughable. And there was really not a lot to it. It was mostly about how to gear. You know, because there were so many stats that were useful for DPS Paladins. I will be using medium armor. Well, while I'm leveling, what I'm likely to do is have 5 pieces of medium armor, 1 heavy and 1 light, just so that I can skill up those just in case. But realistically, medium. Oh shit, I'm dying. Jesus Christ. Wasn't paying attention to my health. But yeah, what I'll do after this session, before I start tomorrow, is I'll get my main character to craft me some gear. And it will be... I haven't decided what traits yet. But... it'll be 5 medium. Heavy chest, light belt. To maximise the benefits of having the different ones. Oh shit. It has massively improved. I can't speak for the RP community because I don't do that, but the player housing is really good. Just from a casual point of view, it's a really good game. I have no doubt that my damage will be absolutely dreadful just because I refuse... Well, I mean, it will be dreadful anyway, even if I didn't. But I will refuse even playing it after a while, if I do, to do the animation cancelling thing. Or I may not refuse, but I won't like it. Don't I find the leveling gear kind of strange? Not much difference between level 10 and level 50 gear. Well, that's literally true, because if I'm crafting it all, I just keep updating the level that I craft it at. What I generally do when I'm leveling a character is... like every 10 levels, I'll craft myself a full set of armour, which will just be green armour, and then I'll craft the weapons and I'll make them blue quality. And as I say, so, but at the moment, you know, I'll probably be doing that, what we are, because I'm not going to be, I'll finish at about 9, I'll finish in 10 minutes time and go off and get something else done. But... what level are 13? I don't know. Should I do it for 14? If I do it for 14, I'd have to do... yeah, I'll do it for 14, then I'll do it again at 20. My buffs will just be running out then as well. So that'll be handy. Right, I've forgotten where I'm going. Well, the important thing in an MMO as well, of course, is, you know, a community in there does keep people playing the game. This is why you always see, like, when guilds collapse, usually raiding, well, I've only got experience of raiding guilds. There's always a few people that quit the game. And they're not the ones that cause the guild to collapse. They're just ones who decide... well, if everyone's going to be spread far and wide in other guilds, you know, they were only really hanging on because they enjoyed being with their people in that guild. And then when they're not doing that, they just stop playing it.
Such senseless death and destruction.
Which is another reason why I just think Blizzard shoot themselves in the foot by not allowing more easier ways to connect for PvE. I can understand, like, you know, if they got rid of factions for PvE, that would massively change it. And if they didn't force people to pay for server transfers. Because ultimately, you know, when a guild's not doing well, people don't enjoy it as much. So people quit the game. And then if the guild ends up collapsing, more people quit the game. And over time, I can't believe that Blizzard are making more money out of people paying for these services than they're losing in subscriptions from people not playing it. And I can't note that, but it would just seem to me to be baffling. I mean, well, it's, again, I mean, what I would do if I were in charge of, you know, WoW, I would just consider what are the different reasons people play MMOs for, and I would want to cater for all of them. Every single one of them. And the sort of people who enjoy just basically using it as a digital form of dressing up Barbie, or Ken, whatever your preference is, do that. Loosen the strings on transmog. I mean, their idea in that last Q&A of loosening the strings on transmog was letting us not display the chest. It's like, well, what about us letting us display a chest that's for a different armor type or something, or one that class couldn't normally use? I don't see what the problem with it is. Right, I have missed something out here. Counterfeit Pardon Edict. Removes 500 gold worth of bounty on use and also clears all heat. Okay. It's encouraging me to break the law, I see. Right, I've missed something out now, haven't I? Oh, there's another, oh, there's a trebuchet I haven't burnt. Oh, that's a terrible joke. Right. But yeah, I think we'll play a house, and what they can't do is just say, here, house, have fun. They've got to encourage you, have lots of ways of gathering stuff for it. Like, and there's so many things, and for guild housing as well, like the guild hall. There's so many things. I mean, what I've suggested is, you know, especially like if you've got raid guilds or guilds that get achievements for things, you know, what if you put a plaque up? You could get your guild got a plaque, or your guild master got a plaque for the guild hall that would commemorate killing an end boss of a particular raid. And what if it had your world rank on it as well? I mean, surely they could do that in the game. It'd get a bit boring in Methods Guild Horde, admittedly. There's so many things you could do, like and you play a house to commemorate your own achievements, as well as just, as I say, from crafting or rare events. These weekend events. Well, it may be too late to do that now. It may be, but I don't know. It depends how long they want to actually keep, you know, doing it. I mean, the developers keep talking about the fact they've got, you know, long-term plans. And from their point of view, I believe them. Obviously, what matters is what the Blizzard hierarchy intend of it. Because you've got to remember, those developers, obviously they want WoW to be going on for a long time yet. Because it's their jobs. Blizzard have already shown they don't always move people to other projects when one project falls. I think the finishing an ESO where you kill a dungeon boss and then get to mount its head trophy is very nice. Yeah, obviously I've not done that, but yeah. Yeah, things that commemorate stuff you've done. There's crafting. The weekend events that WoW does, that you know, they could easily give you some unique furniture item. And the next year, it'll be a different one. It's like you're getting it this week. That's the sort of thing you do to encourage people to stay subscribed. You don't make them do bloody dailies. What you do instead is you say, okay, you know, oh, you want to unsubscribe? Yeah, totally cool. We're fine with that. No problem. Oh, but by the way, you know, this weekend there's going to be this thing, and you can get this cosmetic item. And cosmetic items last forever. That's the point. You know. Power upgrades don't. And yeah, you could just say, oh, you know, but this weekend we're getting this thing. It's a really cool cosmetic item. And you know, if you're not subscribed, obviously you won't be able to get it. Yeah, the events in here, so I quite like. I mean, events in WoW I think are alright. I don't think they're a weakness in WoW when they do the seasonal events. Doesn't have to be a mount, it could be a cosmetic item for the player house. But the point would be, I mean it could be. I mean it could still be a mount. The thing is, you know, they could easily commission an artist to make a unique mount. And if that encourages a load, you know, even 1,000 people, just 1,000 people to subscribe for a month where they wouldn't have ordinarily, that is surely going to pay for it. It is going to pay for it. I mean, behave yourself. I mean, what is it? What we're saying about, is it about a bit over $10, $15 or something for a subscription? 15,000, you're not going to tell me it's going to cost for more than $15,000 to commission a mount worth of wages. And it would surely gain more than 1,000. You say they'd rather sell it in the shop, but they sell hardly anything in the shop. There's nothing in the shop, the WoW shop. It's pathetic. I wouldn't mind them doing that for purely cosmetic items. Oops, they want to kill it. Is he done yet? I don't like this sword. I need to change the look of this sword at some point.
Destroy the Covenant army. You there. I will cloak you in shadow. Enter the portal and witness our victory.
Well, the ship has, I mean, this, yeah, the ship was nice. But again, that was a stupid thing as well. You know, 6 months in one go. But like, I've been, I mean, someone said that it's coming up to now 6 months since that thing. Now, I have been subscribed on 2 accounts continuously in that time, but I don't get them out. What they should have done with that is said, if you subscribe for the next 3 months, you will get this mount. It shouldn't be 6, 3, because I reckon people will do 3 for the mount. If it's a nice mount, I think people would do that. You wish ESO had more earnable mounts. I mean, I have no idea how many there are or not. But certainly when it comes to mounts that you're going to sell on an online store or give away as part of a promotion to encourage people to subscribe, they are they're always going to be worth it 100% of the time, because like I say, I don't know what they would estimate as, like, I don't know what you'd need to work out is how much does an artist get paid that would produce it, and how much as a salary, and how much time would it take them to make it. But I refuse to believe that it is not extremely cost effective. I don't know why they don't make more of it. Like, wow, that is. I don't know about ESO because, you know, I think they do a decent amount. But I don't play it enough to have a definite view on that. And the other thing they do, which I'm not going to say I'm entirely in favour of, but from a business point of view, it's surely got to be good. These things here where you've got, oh, so many days left. So many days left. And you look at it and you think to yourself, I don't want that. But then you think to yourself, but what if I change my mind and then it's too late? I can't get it anymore. You know. And I don't like it, obviously, as a consumer, because it means, oh, there's a statue I can get. Crap. Because look at this. I mean, just by being logged on, I can get a statue. But anyway, what was I looking at? Let's have a look at the mounts that are on at the moment. Exotic one, cave bear. So I've already got. I don't know why I got the camel. I honestly do not know why I got the camel. I don't want to ride a camel. I got the lion. The lion's all right. I don't like guars. Treasure hunter's horse. It's just a horse. I've got a horse. White mane horse. Is that a unicorn? Preview that. Or is it just a fancy headgear to make it look unicorny? Oh, that's not bad. But it's not limited edition and it's 3,000 crowns, so I'll leave that for now. Oh, is that for ESO Plus? Oh, well, I'm not complaining. You know, again, why don't Blizzard give people things for a subscription? It costs next to nothing. I mean, they all they've had to do is get an artist to make a thing. Like, I don't know anything about art, but I'm pretty sure that's not exactly a year's work for a team of 10 people, is it? You know, that will be you know, maybe a few months for someone, if that. I don't know, I'm just guessing. And why on earth don't Blizzard do it? Encourage people. There's lots of reasons people would subscribe to the game. And they're only picking... I don't know. It just... My head boggles every time I try and work out what they're thinking. Boggles my mind. Right, anyway, I'm going to go and get myself somewhere useful and then I will call this a day. And I will intend to be on tomorrow. I'll have to post... I'll probably intend to come on at roughly the same time, but it may be an hour later than it was today. Depending on when I've got a new toy arriving tomorrow, which I'm excited about. And also when my car gets done. Because obviously, if it just goes through the service and MOT quite easily, I'll probably pick it up early afternoon. But if it needs repairs doing it, maybe later. As you level both your culturons and Druids at the moment, you'll agree that a level switch sometimes is necessary. Poor etiquette took points in... Is it poor etiquette? You can talk about whatever you wish. What? I don't care. I don't care. If you talk about a game I don't know anything about, then I will just say I don't know anything. Oh my god, look at his transmog. What the hell? The hell is that? He's got paper wings on his back. Oh, he's run off. The mobile Elder Scrolls game. Right, well, okay. I mean, there's 3 things I have to say about it. One of which is I don't play mobile games, and I never will play a mobile game. The second of which is I've heard it's not actually all that good. And the third of which, I have seen evidence of extremely expensive things that they want you to buy in order to play it. Or to encourage you at least. And again, I mean, one other big criticism I would have of this game is, where is it? The crates. You know, anything that encourages a gambling type attitude, I am not in favour of in a game. You know, I have no issue with utility buffs or anything like that being on a store. And of course, I've got no problem at all with cosmetic stuff being on. They should not put stuff on that encourages you to spend a load of gold, money, because, you know, real life gold. Is it just transmog? I don't know. I just saw a list of prices and thought, oh. But there's no way I would even contemplate playing a mobile game. No way. Like, I understand that a mobile game might be useful, as I say, I've said this before. If you're at a train station, you've got an hour wait or something like that, yeah, or on the train itself, yeah, fine. But not for me. Don't like it. I don't even like consoles, and they're far more sensible as a gaming system. Yeah, it says it's been fun for you. It's come a long way since its launch. It has come, it has. It really has improved a lot. Which is what makes me so sad when I think about, you know, certain other games where the developers refuse to... I mean, these guys, what they could have done, obviously there were certain things that were clearly wrong with the game. And they could have just gone, let's fix those things. But they didn't. They went, there's something fundamentally wrong with this game. We need to rethink it from the ground up almost. And they did that. And that's actually very impressive. Whereas Blizzard's attitude seems to be, can you hand me another sticking plaster? We've found another little issue. Instead of redesigning things or fundamentally rethinking their philosophy. And I almost wouldn't mind if they rethought their philosophy and came to the conclusion that actually it's fine as it is. But they don't even rethink it. They don't ever question. You know, they come out with statements that are basically of the sort, no, this is how it is in WoW. It's like, well, that's how it was in WoW 15 years ago. Why should that be how it is now? The thing you like about the crates is that each item you get can be redeemed for gems if you don't want the items. Then you can use the gems to buy the stuff you want from the crates. Yeah, this is true, but, you know, you can still end up spending an awful lot just to get pixels. You know, I've got no problem with them putting stuff on there and it's like this, it costs this much, because then you know, like, you know, if you want a particular thing, you can work out how much real life money those crowns are. Now, I mean, that is another thing actually when we're on it, because the fact that you use real life money to buy crowns and then those crowns are used here. Now that itself is a little bit sneaky as well, because the thing is, people won't have in their head, like, I can't think at the moment how much money 24,500 crowns is. I know it'll be over £100, but I don't actually know. So, you know, you can easily have, well, I think it would be probably about then, but someone buying something, they at least can think of it, oh, it's this much worth. It's worth this much. And when you're doing crates, though, you can't. Even if you know that eventually you'll be able to get it because you can just destroy the stuff you've had, you're still going to be in a situation where you from the start, you don't know how much it's going to end up costing you. And I don't like that. And I think, you know, I would like it if governments, because some governments have already started to grumble a bit about it. You know, if the gaming industry is not going to sort it out, I think, you know, it should be legislated against. Because it's not right. Let's hope the guys who salvaged here so don't go anytime soon. Well, or at least that they are replaced by people who are similarly intelligent. Because it ultimately comes down to this, I think, for Blizzard. I think it's just down to ego. You know, and you see it in other, it's not just Blizzard, you see this elsewhere as well. You know, there's some games developers that have this ego that they know best. And they say as much. They say as much. We know best, you don't know anything. And it's like, no, we know what we enjoy playing. And some people even understand the technical side of it as well. So it's arrogant to even just talk about that. And it's just that, it's almost like they don't want to take an idea that the community has come up with, because then it's like they think to themselves in their insecurity, but hang on, it's my job to come up with these things, you know, so therefore we're only going to use my ideas because I'm the one who's paid to do this. And it's like, well, a good idea is a good idea, for Christ's sake.
The Mages Guild is old dust and rules.
It's not really, I don't know how much, I mean, I don't know anything about the ins and outs of it. How much do Bethesda actually have in terms of executive say on the game? Obviously, they're granting the license and everything. But do they interfere, or is it all just ZeniMax? I have no idea who actually is majorly involved in the game. But anyway, I am going to leave it there for tonight. As I say, I'll be on at some point tomorrow. No ESO ZeniMax Online. But I don't know whether it's just licensed to ZeniMax or whether Bethesda have any input at all. I have no idea because I don't pay attention to the that side of it. But anyway, yep, I will see you all, well, see some of you tomorrow anyway. I'll put up the time at some point in the afternoon when I've got an idea. But as I say, I do need to wait so that I know that my car's done and everything. So good night.